A lot of the problems we're seeing in wireless networks, whenever somebody comes to me and say, we have a wireless problem, I can honestly say that in 90% of the cases, the wireless problem isn't specifically about wireless at all. It very, very often actually comes from the wired, the conventional networking part. And this can be everything in a wired network. To begin with, power is a major issue. Access points and wireless routers suffer from voltage instability, voltage drops, spikes, or complete outages. So one of the first common thing when a wireless access point is not reachable, is not available, doesn't show any traffic, check if you got power. Then there's everything about cables, like the wired back end of your wireless network. The crimping, the classical thing, that little plastic thing on the actual connector being missing. It's come off. We've used the cable anyway. You all know what I'm talking about. And then the cable which used to sit okay in that Ethernet plug has come out. Water might be getting into your cables or the cable's connections. Cable might get stolen, cut over, anything. Animals might have ripped out cables if it's outdoor installations, all these things. Then there's, away from the physical layer, layer 3, bad IP. You've configured your IP, your DHCP, your routing or anything in the wrong way. That's, I would say, the most common thing I see in wireless networking, that the problem actually lies on TCP IP level somewhere. Layer 2 could also be the issue. Clients that do not properly behave according to the rules, according to the protocols. In wireless networks, I never know what clients I'll be seeing. I'm typically not controlling my users' devices. It's bring your own device, and with that, all kinds of weird things can happen. And of course, it could be hostile attacks. That, again, not the most common thing, but obviously something we need to take into account. So before you actually go into looking at the specifically wireless things, like interference is the first word we often hear. Before you do that, check the wired and all the other problem zones. If it's in fact a wireless problem, what could that be? It could be bad signals. And we've mentioned many reasons already: obstacles, changing conditions. It could be bad output power or received signal. Antennas might be bad. There might be absorptions and reflections somewhere along the signal path. Fluctuating signals. You will remember that we need to keep the so-called Fresnel zone free. That is, our wireless connection is more than just a straight line. It's a space around that straight line which we need to keep clear. And if a tree is moving in the wind and moving in and out of that space, we'll have fluctuating signals. Something is in the way. Antennas, alignment might be wrong, or the alignment, the deployment wasn't properly done. It's not stable. It can move. Wind is a factor. Wind catch by antennas is a classical thing. Again, animals might be responsible for moving antennas, everything. Water might be getting into connectors, another classical issue. Since water always is in the way of wireless networks, it's also an important factor when it's in the atmosphere as fog or rain. However, our frequencies that we're working with, mainly 2.4, 5, 6 gigahertz, are not very vulnerable to these. You see more of that rain fade, the atmospheric influence, as you go higher up in frequency. What is a factor, though, is that obstacles that used to be dry, all of a sudden after a rain are no longer dry. Classical thing, water being collected on leaves or water being collected on the roofs of houses, whatever it might be. A dry building substance might be quite fine to have in the way after a rain. When it soaks up the water from that rain, the same wall that wasn't a problem all of a sudden is a problem. Then I said interference is the word I hear the most, and I can honestly say it's very, very rare that interference is really our problem. Mostly it's different things, but it can be, and that can be interference within one Wi-Fi channel, too many devices on that same channel. Even worse than that, on a neighboring channel. You will remember that we said, for example, for 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi to use distinct channels 1, 6, 11. But what if you have wireless networks in the vicinity that are using, for example, channel 2 or channel 5 and 7, and then they will have interference with the channels that you were planning to use. It could also be interference with signals that are not Wi-Fi at all. Bluetooth uses 2.4, it uses a different modulation, so it's not super likely to have a strong impact. But if you have strong Bluetooth sources very, very close to where you're trying to make your wireless connection, you will probably see an impact. Same with the classical microwave oven. Also, that is 2.4. A good microwave oven is properly shielded, but who tells you that the very oven you are facing might not be old, maybe not so properly shielded, might be leaking radio waves. So you may interfere with equipment which has nothing to do with Wi-Fi. And we'll get to how you find out about this.